Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very well. It's 1 a.m. here in Belgrade.
Oh, well, thank you for getting up for this one.
So I,
That is so
I wasn't
early.
in bed. I'll lie
Oh,
down afterwards. Have to take my dog out.
oh yeah. Okay, well, that's good at least. Is anyone else joining us, or is it the two of us today?
Only the two of us.
Okay, fantastic. So I get to ask you all my questions.
Awesome.
Great, great, great.
Thank you both for joining us, and thank you to the audience. And we are live, so you can be getting at any time. And Nasi, why don't you do some introductions?
Nice. So my name is Nase DeSanders. I'm with the Bushwick Film Festival, and here we have Masa Neskovic. Is that how I say it?
Masha.
Masha, the writer and director of Asymmetry. So Masha, would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? And I mean, I already said your role in the film, but like a little bit about the film as well.
I'm director. I live in Belgrade, Serbia. And this is my, Asymmetry is my first feature film. So far I've done around 15 short films and short and medium length documentaries. I'm working on a feature documentary right now, and I should be doing also a TV police series show.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Asymmetry is something, I mean, it's an art house film. It's a very low budget, small film, but it's something that I've worked on for 8 years from the from the first idea to the premiere. Yeah. So it's a love story. It's set in Belgrade today. It's about 3 couples who all live in the same time and in the same place, each of different age, but they could they could possibly share in some kind of universe the same destinies. So we learn about each of the couple more by learning about 2 other couples.
Fantastic. So I'm going to jump around in the order of my questions since you did touch on it a little bit. So you've directed 11 short films and 12 documentaries before undertaking your first feature, which is amazing. So how was that transition from short to long form for you?
It's actually, it wasn't very painful because somehow you get to understand how much different it is during the process. So initially I wasn't very afraid of the scale of what feature film could be. The worst part was getting there, getting to getting the money to do it. Yeah. So here in Europe, it's a bit different than for you in the States. So we got funded by our film centers. So all of the money that's put into the film we got from the government, actually, from the state.
Okay.
For Ministry of Culture, and that was everything we had. So we needed to, to find some in-kind co-producers, which we did. We have Slovenia's co-producers and Italian co-producers, and that's how we managed to finish the film. But actually, I thought that the shooting process would be like hardest for me because it was 36-day shoot, and that's the biggest shoot that I've done so far. But I think the amount of adrenaline and love that you experience during the process, keeps you going, and I could do it for twice as much time, maybe even more. And it turned out that the editing process was the hardest, post-production. Yeah, which I think makes sense because of the way of narration. Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
fragmented narration of the story. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that.
So 36 days, that for a feature film, that sounds really short. That's only a little bit more than a month. Where were you doing everything like really fast, right? One
Yeah,
after
yeah,
another? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Well, I
wow.
mean, here it's like okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So where did the inspiration for this film come from?
Well, I suppose that it came from my personal life,
Mhm.
especially from my childhood, possibly because um, I come from a family that I mean, my parents were divorced, and I suppose that from the very beginning, I was trying to explain to myself, possibly when I was a child, why do like people who love each other, why do they um, grow so far from each other, and why
Mhm.
do love stories fall apart? So
Mhm.
I suppose I was trying to find my own answers to those kinds of questions, and I suppose that I wanted to make a fictional universe in which um, there could be alternative outcomes for
Mhm.
different couples in the story, even though they
Okay, I
could
like
be,
that.
yeah, even though they could be like it could be a story of only one couple.
Mhm.
Um, I wanted to make um, to give them a chance to do something differently.
Mhm.
You've
Okay,
seen
so
the
that perfectly leads into my next question. So, as you already said earlier, your film circles around, we'll say, three sets of main characters, and then we have these three different couples going through their lives. How did you go about writing these stories? Were they written as like three separate sets of stories first, or were they always together as one story?
Well, they were from the very beginning. The idea was there that there will be three sets of stories. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I obviously worked on them separately, and especially with the stories of children. I've worked on the story almost to the time that we got into the shoot, because when I found the actors that are going to play kids, I've spent some time with them, and then I wanted to incorporate some of the things that I've seen happen between them in our time together into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So for for every for every story, I've had different ways of working on the script and working with the actors.
Mm. So that's amazing. So then, staying with the writing, for you, what comes first, story or character?
It depends on the project.
Mm-hmm.
For me here, the story came first.
Okay.
The overall idea of what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted came first. But for example, everything that I was imagining from that point so far, um, everything that I was working on after asymmetry was totally like the other way around. Now I
Mm-hmm.
first imagine characters, and then the story. So
Oh
I
wow.
think it depends on the project, or I don't know, a moment in your life, or
Amazing. So what was your biggest challenge when making this movie?
my biggest challenge was to endure
Mm-hmm.
all the things that you need to endure as as a first film director.
Mm.
So you know, to stay focused and to stay to believe that that you will make the movie eventually, you know, and I suppose to gather the crew that will also believe in the film as much as I believed in it. So I'm very happy that I managed to do that, and that I have a wonderful crew with me in this film.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So what did you learn when making the movie?
In what way?
Well, I mean, I guess touching again that it's your first feature film. Every film that you go to, I assume that you would learn something from the experience, whether it be from working with actors you haven't worked with before or with a cinematographer. Was there any like big takeaway that you had from this film for yourself?
Yeah, for myself, yes, of course. I mean, I since it was my first feature, I was really worried not to. I tried not to be scared about it. You know, I tried to be as open as possible to both enjoying the moment and trying some things that I believed in. So not overthinking how the outcome will be, you know. So I think that I'm mostly proud of myself for maybe being courageous to do that and to stick with the original idea that I believed in, even though it could could turn out to be maybe I don't know, too bold.
No, definitely. I don't think there's such thing as too bold. I love it. So we have a few audience questions that we gotta ask. These are all really good questions, by the way. The first one is, can you talk about the love scenes with the young couple? They were so passionate and intense. It felt like true love. How were you able to accomplish that?
Yeah, thank you. That's a I'm happy to hear that. Well, I spent a lot of time with those two actors, Mira and Mladen, and they spent a lot of time with each other. They didn't know each other before they got those parts, so we spent time talking about the script, but not only the script. You know, we hanged out at my place a lot. We ate together. We went out together. We talked about everything. So I think by the time they needed to do those scenes, they were really good friends, and they were there for each other. I mean, those scenes, as beautiful as they seem, they are like the worst thing that when it comes to shooting. You know, it's
I can imagine. It seems
yeah,
very awkward.
it's very awkward, and it's not something anyone from the crew enjoys, you know. So but I think we laughed a lot, you know, and I'm glad that they managed to form that kind of relationship before the shoot, where they could support one another even in those kind of scenes. So when it came to, you know, to shooting those scenes, we knew that we had to do them, and that they had to be, you know, authentic and beautiful. So we just did it.
Nice. Well, it definitely came out well despite the awkwardness. I definitely think it helps when the characters are very comfortable with each other, just because it is such an intimate, odd thing for two strangers to do. So when they know each other and feel comfortable, I think it definitely comes out better. So we have another audience question. They say, when watching, I thought all the couples were the same in different phases. Were they different couples? This might kind of get into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to answer that, that is also okay. It's up to you.
You can. I will answer. You can look at those couples both ways. That was my initial intention. So you can look at them as totally different people, and you can see the pattern that connects all of them, and look at them as three different phases of one love story. So both answers are true, but if I mean the viewer is right. Yeah, my initial idea was to tell one love story using three different couples.
Very nice. So, okay, last audience question. The scene that he puts his head in the elevator, what were you saying about the character with that action?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we said that he was willing to go a long way for her. So that he was willing to not question some things, and just be there.
That's beautiful. I love it. So before we let you go, we need to know, what are you currently working on and what is next for you? You already touched a bit on your upcoming documentary. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the documentary is about a famous Serbian director, Goran Markovic. It's a biography documentary. And the TV show is something that I'm very excited about. It's a job. I need to, earn some money after my art house film, but but it's something that is totally different from Asymmetry, and something that I didn't know that I'll be doing, but it came up, and I'm really excited now about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how do we find you? How do we follow everything you're doing? What are your social media tags?
Unfortunately, I don't have any social media.
Really?
So no Facebook. I had Instagram a few years ago, but I don't use it. So there is there's an account, but I don't use it.
Okay.
And no Facebook. No, it's only email, only old school stuff.
All right, so you guys are gonna have to check the IMDb page to see when new stuff comes out. And we have one question before I let you go. Plebe wants to know, what's living in Belgrade like?
Well, that's not a short. It wouldn't be a short answer. I mean, it's interesting. It's always something going on politically. Now with Corona, I think anywhere in the world is almost the same. But it's I love Belgrade. I'm born here. It has its own problems, but it has also very interesting people and people I love and places to go. And if you are an American who has a decent amount of, not even a decent amount of money, and can come here, there's bound to be a good time for not a lot of money.
It's a message from the Belgrade tourism industry.
So, it's safe. I mean, not with Corona, but it's
fully, Awesome. Well, Masha, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
Maybe a little
Nice talking
clap.
to you.
It's me. It was great talking to you. So we'll see you around then.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
And
Lovely.
up next, we'll be, Nasi, I think you're going to moderate the next session as well.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. And that session is discussing